You're not stuck. That's the most comforting lie you tell yourself. Because stuck sounds accidental. It sounds unfair. It sounds like something happened to you. But here's the contradiction most people never face. If you were truly stuck, you wouldn't be this consistent. Your days look similar. Your reactions are predictable. Your explanations sound rehearsed. That's not helplessness. That's loyalty. You don't keep the same life by force. You keep it by protecting what feels familiar. And most people never stop to ask what they're actually protecting. 1. The comfort you keep calling a trap. Most people believe they're trapped by circumstances. They point to timing, responsibility, obligations that sound permanent. So they wait. They wait for relief. They wait for permission. They wait for something external to break the pattern. And while they wait, their behavior stays perfectly intact. What you call a trap is often a structure you quietly maintain. Your routines don't fight you, they cooperate with you. You wake up knowing what the day will demand. You know which parts to tolerate. You know exactly how far you're allowed to stretch. That predictability feels safe, even when it feels dull. That's not being stuck. That's maintenance. You're not trapped. You're extremely good at maintaining what feels familiar. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. 2. Responsibility as a psychological shield. I'm just being responsible. It sounds mature. It sounds rational. It sounds unquestionable. Responsibility becomes a shield, a way to avoid asking harder questions without appearing avoidant. You don't have to explore discomfort if you can justify staying the same. Responsibility often protects fear better than denial ever could, because denial looks irrational. Responsibility looks admirable. It explains everything away. You don't question your life because it appears logical, socially approved, easy to defend. Responsibility doesn't just manage outcomes. It manages perception, both yours and everyone else's. And perception quietly decides what feels possible. 3. The habit loop that pretends to be reality. This is just how life works. Alternatives stop feeling real, not impossible, just unrealistic. Repetition doesn't just create habits, it creates beliefs. Every repeated year teaches your brain what's normal, what's expected, what's reasonable for someone like you. And once something feels normal, it stops feeling optional. The mind stops checking for exits when it believes it's already home. Repetition turns choice into identity. Stickman doesn't notice the loop running until the loop starts narrating his life. But this still isn't the real trap. You're not afraid of change. Here's the part most people misunderstand. You're not afraid of change. You're afraid of losing the version of yourself that everyone else recognizes. The routines aren't the anchor. The identity is. The role you play. The explanations people expect. The consistency they rely on. Change doesn't threaten your comfort first. It threatens your recognizability. Now let's look at what you're actually protecting. 4. Identity maintenance disguised as stability. I've built a stable life. Stability becomes something you serve instead of something that supports you. The brain protects identity before it protects possibility. Anything that challenges who you've been feels more dangerous than staying where you are. You repeat the same patterns because they confirm the story you tell yourself. Stickman isn't maintaining his life. He's maintaining the version of himself that fits inside it. And stories are harder to abandon than habits. 5. The silent cost of being consistent. Consistency is treated as discipline, as maturity, as proof of character. So you never question what you're being consistent with. Consistency without reflection locks identity in place. You show up, you endure, you repeat. And over time, endurance starts impersonating progress. Consistency is only impressive if it's conscious. This is why years pass without movement. 6. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar truth. At least I know what to expect. Predictable dissatisfaction replaces uncertainty. The brain prefers known discomfort over unknown freedom, not because it's easier, but because it's explainable. You don't avoid change because it's hard. You avoid it because it removes excuses. Stickman knows exactly how uncomfortable he's allowed to be. Anything beyond that feels threatening. And there's one final layer underneath all of this. 7. Maintenance is a choice. You don't admit you're making, I don't really have a choice. Agency disappears without confrontation. Avoidance feels passive, but it's an active agreement. Every day you repeat the same life, you silently vote for it again. Not consciously, but effectively. Stickman doesn't stay where he is by accident. He stays by consent. What you've actually been doing. You're not stuck because something blocked you. You're stuck because nothing ever challenged you hard enough to break the pattern. What you've been doing isn't waiting, it's repeating. Repeating days that feel acceptable. Repeating explanations that feel responsible. Repeating discomfort that feels familiar enough to tolerate. You didn't end up here accidentally. You arrived here through thousands of small acts of agreement. Agreement with routine, agreement with expectation, agreement with an identity that no longer feels alive but still feels safe. What you call normal life is often just a loop that stopped being questioned, and the longer a loop runs, the more it disguises itself as reality. Patterns don't announce themselves as choices. They slowly become the background noise of who you think you are. The psychological truth. Most people don't stay where they are because they lack opportunity. They stay because leaving would force a reckoning with the fact that this life wasn't just inherited, it was maintained. Maintenance feels innocent, responsible, justified, but psychologically, maintenance is loyalty. Loyalty to an old self, loyalty to familiarity, loyalty to being recognizable to others even when you're no longer recognizable to yourself. Ownership is heavier than dissatisfaction, because ownership removes excuses. And when excuses disappear, identity is exposed. That's why change feels threatening even when nothing is technically wrong. Not because you can't leave, but because leaving would mean admitting you stayed longer than you had to. And that truth is harder to sit with than another year of the same life. So here's the question to sit with. What part of your life are you still maintaining, not because it works, but because letting it go would force you to redefine who you are? Write it in the comments, not for solutions, not for motivation, just awareness. Stickman out.